Bonjour, today on Travelling Fabulously, it's my top 10 free things to do in Paris. That's right, my top 10 free things to do in Paris.
You know what I say, whatever you do it fabulously. So why don't you come and join me on Travelling Fabulously?
Bonjour, today on Travelling Fabulously, we're exploring my top 10 free things to do in Paris. And I don't know how many times I'm going to say 3 things instead of 3 things, but we'll work it out along the way. Starting with number 10, right behind me, Rue Crémieux. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's one of the most Instagrammable places in Paris, so much so that the city actually wants you to stop Instagramming there.
Yes, that's right, they've asked people not to take photos and film there. So I used some footage I'd taken before the city asked people not to film there. There's even an Instagram account formed by the residents where they take photos and post them of the people who take photos of themselves on the street out the front of their buildings. But even though you shouldn't film, it doesn't mean you shouldn't take the time to visit this unique part of the city with its many colourful houses, built in 1857 as housing for workers around the area. Some of these unique houses are only one room deep.
Number 9 on my list, the Deux Plateaux, or as it's most commonly known, the Columns de Buren, built in 1985 on top of what used to be the car park here at the Palais Royal.
This controversial art installation was created by French artist Daniel Buren in 1985, designed to conceal the ventilation shafts for the Culture of Ministry building. The concept of the installation is to take the grid of the car park that it used to be in its place and intersect it with these candy-striped black and white columns. I love it.
Loads of people come and stand on the columns, but I prefer the more child-friendly ones. As number 8 on my top 3 things to do in Paris is to go for a stroll through the many different passageways of Paris, my favourite being Le Passage Grand Clouf.
All around the 3rd, 2nd and 1st arrondissements of Paris, a wide range of great passageways for you to explore. I even do a tour of them.
Don't forget you can subscribe to Fabulousness by hitting the subscribe button just down below. Here, somewhere around here. Yeah. Subscribe to Fabulousness. And remember to hit the bell notification, and that way you'll get an email every time I release a new video. And who wouldn't want that? Don't say you. Number 7 on my list is to check out historical places like the building behind me, the house Nicolas Flamel.
Nicolas Flamel was a famed alchemist believed to have discovered the ability to achieve immortality. His house stands today in Paris and is the oldest stone house in the city. If you're a fan of the Harry Potter movies, you would know the name as J.K. Rowling used his historical figure as an inspiration for the character with the same name in her books and movies. There are many plaques and buildings around the city that you should research, as you never know who might have lived there.
Number 6 on my list of free things to do in fabulous Paris is to take a walk along the Canal Saint-Martin.
The Canal Saint-Martin is 4.5 kilometres long and connects the canal to the River Seine. Nearly half its length between the Rue de Faubourg de Temple and Place de Bastille was covered in the mid-19th century to create the wide boulevards and public spaces on the surface, which are now home to the Bastille markets and other markets as well. At the top end of the canal, in summer, you can take in the many different activities during the Paris de Plage every year.
Number 5 on my free things to do in Paris is to come to the Trocadéro. Get your picture taken with some Chinese brides, or even some Russian ones sometimes.
Here comes the bride. I wonder what that is in Chinese. Xingyang Lai Long. Apparently. Well, that's what Google Translate says. Trocadéro was named in honour of the Battle of Trocadéro, which was a war that led to the French invasion of Spain in 1823. The Palais de Charlotte is located at Trocadéro in the 16th arrondissement of Paris. It was built in 1937 for the Universal Exhibition, and it's made up of 2 neoclassical wings separated by a terrace leading to the Jardins Du Tulleries. The Palais de Charlotte houses 3 major museums: the Cité d'Architecture and de Patrimoine, the Musée National de la Marine, and the Musée de Homme, as well as restaurants, cafes, and the National Theatre de Charlotte. The terrace, of course, provides one of the most spectacular views of the Eiffel Tower, which makes it very, very popular at any time of the year. The best time to go, I think, is in the morning, Yep, get up bright and early when no one else is around to take your photos all by yourself.
Number 4 on my list of things to do in Paris for free is to go to the Père Lachaise cemetery. Go for a walk around a cemetery. Who wouldn't want to do that? Alright, well, it's not just any old cemetery. It's actually the largest cemetery in Paris.
The Père Lachaise cemetery is the largest cemetery in Paris at 44 hectares or 110 acres, whichever one you want to go on. More than 3.5 million people visit this cemetery annually, making it the most visited necropolis in the world. This garden cemetery is the resting place for many famous people like Oscar Wilde, Colette, who on her death was refused a religious funeral apparently by the Catholic Church on account of her many divorces. So she was given a state funeral instead, the first French woman author to be granted such an honour. You can also visit the graves of Chopin, Edith Piaf and Jim Morrison. Some people go there to visit the graves of these famous people, and some to visit their family and friends who are buried there. But many people also go just to see the very different headstones that are there.
Number 4 on my list of free things to do in Paris is to go check out the angled building in Montmartre, just near Sacré Couer. Is it built on an angle or is it a trick of the eye? If you like these videos, press the like button. Share me around with your friends. I love to be shared around. And remember, whatever you do it fabulously. That's what I say. Number 2 on my free things to do in Paris list is Sacré Couer, right behind me. I love it when things are right behind me. Sort of, not really.
The belfry of the Basilica of the Sacred Heart of Montmartre, a belfry is basically where the bells are housed, consists of 5 bells, 4 small ones and a huge one that's the biggest bell in France apparently. When they ring them bells, they can be heard for up to 10 kilometres away. As Liza Minnelli would say, you gotta ring them bells, you gotta ring them bells, you gotta make them sing and really ring them bells. Unfortunately though, since there was a crack found in the largest bells in the 90s, then they don't really ring them as often as they used to. Sacré Couer is built on travertine stone, which gives it that white look. Where you can see the grey is where water can't get to it, and the pollution and dirt just washes off the other parts of the stone surface. Sacré Couer is located on the highest point in the city, and construction began in 1975 and then was completed in 1914.
What's my number 1 top 10 free things to do in Paris? It's to head off to the Tuileries garden. That's right, grab a picnic basket, some wine, some cheese, a baguette, and head off to the Tuileries. Have a picnic and a stroll. It's free.
This now public garden is located between the Louvre and the Place de la Concorde.
The Tuileries garden was built by Catherine Medici in 1564, and then in 1667 it was opened to the public, just after one of those French revolutions. See, they're good for lots of things, those French revolutions.
Catherine Medici originally created the garden as an example of an Italian Renaissance garden, but then after 3 kings changed it, it became basically what we see today. There are many fabulous statues around the garden. And in winter you can even visit the Christmas markets here. But in summer, the garden has its own summer festival, filled with rides for the kids and adults alike.
YouTube says you should be watching this video next, but I think you should watch this one. But whatever you do, you should subscribe to Fabulousness by hitting the subscribe button just here. What do you think, Lenny? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Subscribe to Fabulousness by hitting the subscribe button just here.